Hello and welcome to my CMSC 461 project. I'm going to show you the entirety of my project. And my name is Preston Beato. So I'm going to show you my ER diagram first. You can see a patient can have many lab tests, many billing, many appointments, and many prescriptions. And a doctor can also have many appointments and many prescriptions. It's my ER diagram. I'm going to go ahead and show you the queries I made to define the schema. I chose varchar as the primary key because the sample data use a letter and then the following a string of numbers. So that's why. And this is the sample data that I use to populate the tables here. This is from the given sample data in the project. And here are some basic queries to ensure that the database does work. So this is my database. I use MariaDB in the VM. I'm going to show databases. I'm going to use my database, show tables. Unfortunately, I'm only given one database, so it's sharing the same table as my previous assignment. But it's fine. As you can see, appointment, billing, patient, doctor, lab tests, prescriptions are in there. So if I paste in my queries, all of my queries are good. That means my database should be good to go. Now my phase two, my phase two, I had to make some queries off of that. These are my queries for my phase two, as given per the instructions. Let's see. Query A just retrieves the history of appointments given a patient's ID, such as this one. Query B identifies all patients who have outstanding bills. Query C assumes today's this date, and then it's gonna show all the lab results as well as pending. Query D is gonna show a list of prescriptions issued between these two dates, inclusive. And then query E is gonna show you each doctor with their appointments and how many appointments they completed. So if I just share the screen here, I whip out the database. That's query A. Let's make it smaller. This is query B. This is query C. This is query D. This is query E. Alright, that was phase two. Another part of phase two was writing transactions in my chosen language. I chose Python because I'm most familiar with it. And so I did is I wrote a booked appointment first, then I wrote 4 transactions as each separate functions. So if I were to log into my VM again, just gonna SSH. Oh man. SSH, put in my password. As you can see, my phase 2 is already in there. So what it is going to do, if I could just make this bigger. Okay. So what it's first gonna do, it's gonna book an appointment, check. It's gonna first check all the conditions, make sure no appointment overlaps, and that it exists. And then after that, it's gonna insert the appointment after all the checks, and it's also gonna add a little delay. And then this transaction, it's going to update a billing record for a patient. It's going to increase it by 100. And then transaction two, it's going to also tamper with billing, but it's also just going to read it based off the patient given number. Oh yeah, and I'll explain why I have a for loop for each one. Transaction 3, what's first going to do is going to update appointment record given the patient ID and appointment ID. It's going to update billing to a complete billing status completed given patient ID and billing ID. This is important because transaction 4 is going to do the exact opposite, where it's going to do billing, update billing first, and it's going to update appointment. So transaction 3 and transaction 4 is definitely going to cause a deadlock. And you'll see, as you can see, I incorporated a retry mechanism so that if a transaction encounters a deadlock, it will try again. It's going to try executing again and again until it runs out of attempts. And if it does, it's going to fail. As they say, fail due to deadlock. This is my unit test. I'm going to run transaction 1 and transaction 2 together. That's how I run them together. And my unit test for transaction 3, transaction 4. Very similar to the last unit test. And this is how I'm calling it with this given data here. So if I go down to my VM, I'm gonna run the Python file now. Python 3 phase2 .py. It checks first. All checks pass. It's gonna wait 5 seconds to simulate. There's lots of concurrencies, and then it inserted. And transaction 2 is gonna show that it updated, and then transaction 2 was successful. Oh yeah, and here's the read from transaction 2. So we're gonna show the appointments now. Before it was just 15 appointments, but let's see. Whoops, select everything from appointment. Now we have 6 appointments from the given data. And now we're gonna look at billing here. Select everything from billing. As you can see, it was able to increase the amount paid by 100, and then it gave a read, which did only for a read. Now in transaction 3, transaction 4, as you can see here, it said it incurred a deadlock on the first attempt. So what it did, it just ran a second attempt, and the transaction 3 was successful. So you look here, transaction 3 was just supposed to update the payment status completed and appointment to completed. So if we look at that, we know that transaction 4 was executed before, so whatever transaction 4 had, it will not show up in the database. So transaction 4, if transaction 4 was ran after, it would say void and cancel. So we're going to show in the database. Let me see. We're gonna look at billing, see if it's completed, giving that billing ID is the very first column. So, oops, this is the wrong. Okay, so okay. Oh, it's actually here. And you can see the payment status wasn't completed, and then we're gonna see the appointment whether or not it was updated. Aha! As you can see, it was also completed. So it's given this. It's actually yes. Whoops. Yes, the status was then converted completed. Given that. All right. So that's how my project handles deadlocks there. The retry mechanism does work, even though they overlapped. The last transaction to execute would have been the one that stays in the database. So that's how my project handles deadlocks. And for the final phase, I got phase 3. And I'm just going to show you the results, but I'm also going to show you the code too. I got a whole bunch of triggers here. Appointment trigger, enforce billing, and billing update triggers. And we got book an appointment. It's the stored procedure for one of my function uses. calculate outstanding bill. Another, this one's a function. This is what one of the other transactions uses. This is my book and appointment. I didn't get a chance to show you this one yet. There you go. And then this is my phase 3. It's gonna have book appointment. It's gonna update lab result. It's gonna process billing payment. And then it's going to generate a patient history. So we want to make sure that the triggers do work first. So I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna open up my test file here. Test the stored procedure. I'm gonna paste in this. Using this. Now this should work. Actually, it should not work. Actually, because there's already an appointment over here. So we select at status code. Show 0. Select everything from appointment. Okay, my mistake. It did actually insert, so that's the happy path because it's a different date. My apologies there. But everything else is the same. And then for the function, we're gonna show that it works by calling this patient number. This is its outstanding fee right here. We're gonna test the trigger. It's gonna give an error message because this value is negative and it cannot allow negative. There we go. We're gonna test the other billing trigger, but for another value right here, when it's negative here. Amount paid is negative, so that works. We're going to test the trigger update right here. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I just ran into a little bit of issue when testing. I accidentally copied this part here, which is just the label. So I'm just going to test the update trigger. Just update, it has a negative value for amount paid. The amount paid cannot be negative. And I'm gonna change it to amount charge where it's -2. And the amount charge cannot be negative. And I'm gonna test the appointment trigger here. Where the new appointment date is earlier than the current date. There, new appointment date is earlier than the current date. So there we go. I hope I showed that one. Here we go. This is the appointment trigger. Here. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the actual demonstration of phase 3. Thank you.